Beepity wee. Good morning. Yeah, it's Uncle Lou here in this. Listen, it's almost football season. So this will be the last non-football video for a while, though. And since I'm an encyclopedia of useless information. So let's go. Ask Uncle Lou anything. I will tell you. Yep, if you ask, Uncle Lou will deliver for you. Shout out to Uncle Luke too. I don't think he's in there. He's doing a live stream, his 1 year anniversary. So I popped in and told him good morning. Because I'm a good guy like that. And while I was in there, I got to thinking, cheese is its own food group. Fact. Anyway, what are y'all doing? I'm bored. Listen, Mrs. Lou and Lou Jr. and Luann have been out of town for 12 days now. And they don't come back for another, well, two of them come back Friday. The third one, I think, doesn't come back till Sunday or Monday. First couple of days was okay. Because I sat around, I didn't do anything. I made the videos, but I didn't do anything. I think I've done one load of laundry in the last 12 days. I ran the dishes one time. I've just been lazy. But bored now. So anyway, Slim Mosley, good morning. Russell Westbrook fan since 2010. Good morning, I guess. I don't know. Cattle Dog, good morning, sir. Nicholas Thompson, Bartholomew. E-I-E-I-O. Good morning to you. Yep, David, Dogs fan, Casey Thompson. Uncle Flu, good morning. I'm doing this on my phone. It's harder for me to read the comments on my phone than it is on the computer out in my grandma's basement or garage or whatever it is y'all are calling it these days. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. Football exclusive, good morning. UGA fan 69, KSU Buckeye. Anyway, so whatever y'all want to talk about, I'll hang out with you guys for a little while. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm so bored I was in there watching Roadhouse. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, what are you doing? You're watching a 35-year-old Patrick Swayze movie. Speaking of 35-year-old movies, though, who's seen the preview for the new Top Gun movie? Sign me up. I'm ready to buy my tickets now. I think that movie doesn't come out till next year, though, 2020. Maverick, Goose. That's going to be good. If you haven't seen the original Top Gun, you're living life wrong. You need to see the Top Gun. If you haven't seen Top Gun, the first one, you need to see it immediately or sooner, if you can. And then you need to run and see that new one when it comes out 2020. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. The guy's weird. He's a lunatic. That whole, don't even get me. Listen, you think I piss BYU type people off with what they do? Don't even get me started on Scientology. There's not enough. We don't have enough time. So you need to run and see that. Oh, also, I love movies. If I didn't have a football channel and I wanted to do YouTube, I would probably do some type of movie channel. I love movies. I don't know why. I've always had a fascination with movies, and I don't know. There's a new John Wick movie is out now too. Quit looking at my eyes. Quit it. Screenshot. There are new John Wick movies out. The first John Wick was really, really good. The second one, no. But I'm going to give the third one a shot. I might go see that one day this coming week, the third John Wick. I'm not a Keanu Reeves fan either. I don't like Tom Cruise. I don't like Keanu Reeves, but Top Gun and John Wick sign me up. Anyway, let me stop ignoring y'all and see what are y'all doing in here. Yeah. SSL, good morning, sir. I love the first John Wick. Wick 2 was, yeah, I agree with you. Heard that Wick 3 is just as good as first. Oh, good. Yeah, I think this one, doesn't this one take place in Tokyo or some other Chinese place? Uh, Man, people get mad when you talk like that too, don't they? Tokyo's not Chinese, Lou. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm sorry. There's 5 types of people. Okay, I mean, this stuff is just getting too complicated now. Might have to delete this stream when it's over. But people make things too complicated. Listen to me, okay? It's 5 types of people. It's white folk. It's black folk. It's Chinese folk. It's Indian folk. Who am I leaving out? White, black, Chinese, Indian, and I'm leaving something out. White folk. Oh, Mexican. Duh. Yeah, it's white people, black people, Chinese people, Indian people, and Mexican people. You're one of those 5 people, or you're a combination of that. But quit making things so complicated. If somebody, listen, it's not an listen. If you're from Tokyo and I think you're Chinese, that's not an insult. Come on. Any thoughts on Indy Sean 45? No, I don't have any thoughts on him. Did you enjoy the Atlanta United game? Man, listen, let me tell you about the Atlanta United game. It was just like the cruise I went on. You guys remember how down I was about that cruise? I was like, I'm not really looking forward to this. I'm just doing it because it's like a family thing or whatever. And then I ended up having a really good time on the cruise. My expectations were so low. The soccer game was the same way. Lou Jr. just really, really wanted to go, so I said, fine, we'll go. I bought the tickets off of StubHub or whatever I bought them from. Went to the game. We had a great time. I'm going to tell you something right now, and I know a lot of you don't like soccer, and that's fine. Soccer fans are the closest thing to SEC college football fans I've ever seen in my entire life. Those people are certifiably insane. Those soccer fans, they're completely out of their mind. I have never seen anything that comes close to a game atmosphere other than college football than what I saw at that Atlanta United game. Those people are nuts. Do I bet on football? Sometimes. Now, if you want to bet on football, do it at Bet Now. There's a link in the description of these videos, and you can use the promo code Uncle Lou, and they'll give you a 50% bonus on whatever you deposit. And they cover everything, not just college football. I just happen to talk college football, but if you bet on other things too, but baseball is going on now, whatever, they cover all that. But there's a link in the description of these videos. You click it to take you over to Bet Now and get you some free money, 50% bonus on your deposit. Good evening, J-Man 617. Good morning, sir. I don't have an NFL team. I'm a fan of NFL players, not teams. Badminton is the best sport in existence. Clem Tiger, good morning, sir. Here's your shout out. Good morning. Yep. Am I going to be a part of the Area 51 raid? No, there will be no Area 51 raid. No. Quit getting trolled. No, I haven't seen the new Lion King movie. My kids are out of town, and if one of them wanted to see it or whatever, I would take them to see it. But they've been gone for a couple of weeks, and they won't be back for at least about another week. So. Now, Lou, did you get paid to say good things about Bet Now? No, I get paid by Bet Now to put that poster in the background and put the link to their website in the description of my video. Whenever anybody contacts me about sponsoring videos, I tell them I don't let them send me any script. They don't tell me what to say. Anytime anybody wants to sponsor any of my videos or have anything to do with my videos, I tell them, I say, go back, watch 10 videos, watch 100 videos, watch whatever you want. But if you sponsor this channel, those are the videos that you're going to get. I'm not going to say anything I don't believe or whatever. Somebody brought up sports betting in the comment section, so that's why I mentioned it. But I mean, I'm not going to apologize for taking sponsorships. I'm pretty sure if you have a job, that when you go there, you clock in. You don't do it for free. So I'm not going to apologize for that. People got mad about this last year. I don't care. I blocked them. And if anybody wants to get mad at it this year, I'll block them too. That's the good thing about, in the beginning when you first start on YouTube and you got a couple hundred subscribers or even a couple thousand, I guess, and you're doing live streams or whatever, and nobody's watching you. You don't want to block anybody because hell, you block a couple people. That's half the people that's watching you. But once you get to a certain point, you don't have to worry about that anymore, and you can block the pointless, unimaginative trolls, which is a great feeling. Can you give a shout out to my FBI agent watching the stream from my camera? Well, yeah, shout out to that would be the NSA. Probably the FBI is probably not tapped into your cell phone, but the NSA 100% is. So shout out to the NSA and everybody else over at the Department of Homeland Security. I don't hate Auburn, sir. You're probably an Auburn fan. Get in line though. Every fan of every team thinks I hate their team the most. So you're no different or no special than anyone else. I could make I haven't made a South Carolina video in how long? I could make a South Carolina video tomorrow, and the comment section would be filled with South Carolina fans saying this guy hates South Carolina. All he ever does is talk about South Carolina. That's just the way it goes. Don't waste your time on South Carolina videos. No, I don't watch baseball. I thought maybe once I had a son, I would get back into baseball. And he did play baseball for a couple of years, and I coached his team. He did like 2 years of T-ball and then 2 years of coach pitch. And I coached all 4 years, but he just never really got into it. And, of course, he plays soccer now. So, but I haven't watched. I used to watch the Braves back when I was in like middle school and high school, back in like the late 80s and 90s, I guess, but I probably haven't watched a baseball game in 20 years. Reverend Yummy Pants, good morning, sir. Thank you for the super chat and the donation, and thank you for the kind words, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos because I sure do enjoy doing them. I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun on this channel with you guys. Mathis or Beck? I mean, it's hard to say. I like them both. I like the idea of a guy who can scramble a little bit, but I don't want a guy who just can scramble. I always want somebody who can throw the ball. It's a benefit if they can run around. So, I got to see more Dewan Mathis. Carson Beck, I mean, he's lit it up in high school, but we got to wait and at least see what he can do in practices and hear reports about that in spring game and stuff like that. I think it's way too early to start talking about that yet. I mean, Mathis is going to have a leg up on him because he will have been in the system for 1 full year. And plus, if Fromm comes back next year, then we're having this conversation 2 years too early. Do you fill up your Mustang with premium gas or regular? I only use premium sometimes, and then I have an oil separator, and I use like the cleaners and to remove the carbon deposits and stuff like that. But I would say maybe once out of every 5 or 6 times that I fill it up, will I put premium in it? I mean, in the United States of America, you don't really need to run premium. I know what car people say. But the gas in America is good. This isn't like gas in some other countries where if you don't get the highest grade, you're getting water, basically, that'll ruin your engine. My Mustang motor is designed to run on 87. And so that's usually what I put in it. We have 87 here in Augusta, because I know it's different in different places, but here in Augusta we have 87, 89, 91, and 93. And every once in a while I'll put 91 or 93 in it. But like I said, maybe once every 5 or 6 times I fill it up. I mean, because I'm not racing it, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Is your channel big enough to be a full-time job? Well, this is the only job I have, so yes. But I mean, YouTube's not like it was 5 or 10 years ago. I mean, there's so many people on YouTube now. Um, I mean, advertisers are spending the same amount of money that they were 5 years ago, but there's 10 times as many channels. You don't make it's hard to make a lot of money in advertising on YouTube, so you have to make it other ways. But I mean, YouTube's like any other business that you start on your own. It doesn't matter what it is, cutting grass, painting houses, selling cars, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like any other business that you start and run and manage yourself. The harder you work at it and the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. You know, um, I mean, I know that there are successful YouTube channels where, you know, a month or two, they've only had a channel for a month or two and their channel blows up and stuff like that. Some of these vlog channels and stuff like that. But in general, YouTube is a grind. YouTube is not, the majority of people on YouTube are not Casey Neistat. Or any of these people. I mean, most people on YouTube grind for a living. Um, I mean, I work 50, 60 hours a week in the off season, and during the season, it feels like I work 20 hours a day, but it's got to be 100 hours a week. When does the preseason top 25 come out? Which one? Like the AP and all that should be coming out pretty soon, I would imagine. I mean, media days is over now. They're starting to put a lot of their conference polls and stuff like that out. I don't know the exact date on like the media poll and all that though. Yeah, y'all keep the politics out of the comment section. People just take that way too seriously. You can't even kid around about political stuff anymore. People cry and get their feelings hurt too easily. So, to the moderators, if you see anybody making any political comments, just time them out, and then if they keep doing it, let me know, and we'll just block them. Do you believe in aliens? I don't believe that there's any aliens captured or caught at Area 51, but I am open to the possibility that there is life out there somewhere. I mean, it seems like every other week they're figuring out that the universe is bigger and bigger and bigger. So I feel like it's a little absurd to just assume that we're the only ones anywhere. But I don't think that I don't buy into a lot of the Area 51 alien hype, but I definitely believe that it's possible that there are other beings out there, whatever those might be. The Earth is not flat, and I'm never going to believe it is until I hear a news story of someone falling off of it. If I ever hear of somebody falling off the Earth, then I'll consider the fact that it might be flat. The Earth is square. Now that's a new one. I haven't heard that one. I hate BYU because they're bigoted, openly bigoted, and I don't care what their reason is. So that's why I hate them. I have heard the moon is a hologram theory before. Have you heard that we're looking to go back to the moon? Um, supposedly they uh, supposedly they found water on the south pole of the moon. Uh, you know, I'm so up in the air about the whole moon thing. I know there's a conspiracy that we never went there and it was filmed at the same set they filmed Bewitched at or whatever out in Hollywood somewhere. Maybe we went to the moon. We probably did. But what I don't understand is why we never went back. It's like we went there, we walked around for 30 or 40 minutes, and then, okay, we've seen enough. We come back here, and then we never go back again. I mean, what was that, 40, 50 years ago now? Um, when we went to the moon and we haven't been back. I don't know. It would be like somebody landing on Earth in the middle of the Sahara Desert, right? Walking around the desert for 10 minutes and going, well, there's nothing here. you let's leave. No point in going back there. I mean, I don't know. It's always been a little weird to me, the whole moon thing. Favorite food? My favorite meal is steak. Steak, salad, and baked potato. Like if I was on death row or whatever and getting ready to get executed, and they tell you you can have your last meal, it would be steak, baked potato, and a salad. My favorite fast food, McDonald's is the one I eat the most because I have kids and that's always what they want. Um, I think the Whopper is probably the best hamburger of any chain fast food place. And I'm not talking. There are some fast. I guess some people consider, like I don't know if you guys know what Cookout is. Um, like they have the best milkshakes. McDonald's has the best French fries. I think the Whopper is the best hamburger. So I don't know. Yeah, we landed on the moon 6 times, 50, 40, and 50 years ago, and never went back. I don't know. The whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not saying we didn't go there. Knoxville or Nashville. I've never been to either one. Um, Now, taking football out of the equation, I think Nashville would be uh, a better place to visit, just as a from a tourist standpoint, you know. But I've never been to either one, so I really can't judge between the two. I say BYU is bigoted because they are. They're openly bigoted. They don't deny it. They just have an excuse for it. Limp Bizkit is a better singer than Frank Sinatra. Limp Bizkit isn't a singer. Limp Bizkit is a band. But I think you're talking about Fred Durst, who's the lead singer of Limp Bizkit. Do Minecraft videos? Lou Jr. was into Minecraft for a while, so I would play it with him. But no, I don't think I'm going to be doing any Minecraft videos. Yeah, Fred Durst did it all for the Nookie, no doubt. Well, he did it all for the part. He did it all for the Nookie and for Britney Spears. Do I like heavy metal? I play a lot of Tool on here. I don't know. Some people consider that like progressive rock, though. I guess I don't know. I don't really get tied down with like what genre uh, a type of music fits into or whatever. Because I like all different types of music. So there is some music I guess that people would consider heavy metal that I like, but there's really no form of music that I don't like. And I think as time goes on, the genres are starting to be less and less separate from each other. They tend to blend a lot more now, I think, than they did before. But I have a wide variety in taste of music. Earlier, before I did this live stream, I'm a big Dave Matthews fan, the Dave Matthews Band, and I subscribe to their channel on YouTube. And they're actually having a concert right now in Virginia, and they're live streaming it on YouTube. And I was watching some of that. But I love Dave Matthews. Garth Brooks, I think, is one of the best. I don't care if you don't like country music or not. I've been to a Garth Brooks concert. It's hands down, without question, the best show I've ever been to, and it's not close. That guy is a born entertainer. I don't know. That concert was 2 hours long, and he did not stop running the entire 2 hours. I've never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable. I like him. Tool, of course. I like Jimmy Buffett. I like Bob Marley. Um, I like a wide variety of music. I like some of the Zach Brown band. Um, I kick myself. I love Dave Matthews, and they tour constantly, and I've never been to see them live. And a few years ago, they were touring with Zach Brown, and I would have loved to have gone to that show, but I don't remember why I couldn't go. Life got in the way, one of those types of things or whatever. But I like Zach Brown. I like Chris Stapleton. Man, if you guys don't know who Chris Stapleton is, again, it's a country thing, and I know a lot of people are just so anti-country music, and I get that. It's fine, but he's such a throwback to old school country music. Just just the way he sounds, his voice. Because I really don't like a lot of the new country. And by new, I mean really like the last 10 or 15 years. Like I could do without this whole Luke Bryan, these type of people. But man, Chris Stapleton, man, he is so good. His voice is so smooth. Lennon or McCartney. I'm not really a Beatles. I mean, Beatles obviously way before my time, and I never really even got into them even at an older age. I mean, obviously I know a bunch of Beatles songs. I know who John Lennon and Paul McCartney are. Lennon was shot outside of his apartment in New York City, and Paul McCartney, I think Paul McCartney's still alive, but I just never really got into the Beatles. I mean, if like Hey Jude, I think is one of the all-time great songs of all time, but you know, I still wouldn't consider myself to be any type of Beatles fan. Never really got into Iron Maiden. No. Boiled peanuts, oh my God, that's the best, hands down, the best football Saturday snack is boiled peanuts. Period. If I could only eat one tailgate food or football snack or whatever you want to call it for the rest of my life, every single Saturday during college football season, it would be boiled peanuts. I mean, you know how I have that saying all the time when people get mad about my trash talk when I say, look, it's just trash talk. To me, trash talk is a part of college football. You just can't separate the two. You can throw boiled peanuts in there too. In fact, I might add that to my little speech. Boiled peanuts and trash talk are just a part of college football. I like the salty. When I make them here, I just make them salty. My father-in-law likes the Cajun ones, and he makes the Cajun ones sometimes, and he'll send some over, and I do like those. So, I mean, I will eat those too, but I prefer just the salty. Auburn Walmart is running out of toilet paper and electric scooters. Do you play college fantasy football? I've never played college fantasy football before, but one of our viewers has set up a league, a fantasy football league, and we're having the draft. I think the draft is this coming. The draft is either this Tuesday night or this Thursday night during my live show. You know, I do the live show every Tuesday and Thursday night at 10. And either Tuesday or Thursday, we're doing the draft. So any of y'all that are free Tuesday and Thursday night, watch the live show if you want to be a part of that college football fantasy league that we're doing on the channel. I think we're going to take phone calls for a little while when the show starts like we normally do, and then I think the draft is I start the show at 10. I think the draft is like at 10:45 or 11 or something, so we'll do the show, and then I'll just keep streaming, and we'll do the draft. Hottest female of all time, Sally Field, and it's not close. You have to have been around YouTube a long time to get that joke. A long time. Yeah, comic dude, I assumed he meant celebrity or famous person that everybody would know. Obviously, Miss Lou is hotter than Sally Field. Of course, Tennessee is considered the South. The KKK was founded there. Favorite exotic car? It changes all the time, but I would love to have a McLaren. If Jake Fromm invited you to go fishing on the lake, would you accept? No. I hate fishing. It's the most boring thing in the world to me. I can't stand. I don't have the patience to fish. Thoughts on the 2020 Corvette? I don't know that much about it other than the photos and the few videos I've seen where people have caught it test driving and stuff out west. So I don't know all that much about it. Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself. I mean, I don't. I have a Mustang, but I'm not a car guy. So I'm not one of these people that, oh, everything Ford is great and everything Chevy is terrible. I'm not like that at all. My father-in-law and my uncle each have a Corvette. They're nice cars. You know, I don't have anything against Corvettes, and the new ones look good from what I've seen. Favorite video game of all time would probably be either Tecmo Bowl, The first game I really got hooked on. I'm old, guys. Okay, I'm 41 years old. I had a Nintendo when it came out in the mid '80s. Okay, the first game I really got hooked on was the first in the original Legend of Zelda. So that's always on the top of my video game list. I mean, I don't play video games anymore, so my knowledge of like current video games is limited to whatever my son Lou Jr. is into, which right now is Fortnite and FIFA. Those are, I mean, he loves those two games. I don't know much about video games outside of that in terms of current stuff. Never played Breath of the Wild. I played the original Legend of Zelda when I was a kid, and then I played the second one when it came out when I was a kid, and I don't know if I ever played another one. Yeah, I have two dogs, two labs. You keep asking me about Doom, Lambo, and I keep telling you that I could give two hoots or a holler about Doom. I really, I can't stand it. I know you like it, and you've asked me about it a bunch of times. I don't care anything about Doom. I've played Call of Duty and Battlefield. Yeah. If you've heard me tell the story about how I started my YouTube channel, it involves my two nephews, and all they cared about was YouTube and video games. That's what they were into, was Call of Duty and those Battlefield games, the first person shooter type deals. One of the nephews, the younger one, was like a savant on Call of Duty. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, he was unreal at that game. And so I played it a little bit with them. I know what those games are. Lou Jr.'s never really been into. The only first person shooters Lou Jr. has ever got into, and they're not even first person. I think these are third person, but they're the Star Wars Battlefront games. He's got both of those. He's a huge Star Wars fan, and so I've played a lot of that with him. But what is this here? Aaron Shelley, thank you. Shout out to Warnell School of Forestry at UGA. Yeah, thank you for the super chat and the donation, and big shout out to the forestry school over at UGA. Keep doing your forestry type stuff. Favorite fan base to trash talk is always South Carolina. I grew up not liking South Carolina the most out of all the other teams because just geography, and it just never gets old to me. Oh, you're watching my job right now, Jay. I have two cats. I don't know either one of them's real name. I call one of them Monkey, and I call the other one Bert. They're both girls, but I call one Monkey and the other Bert. I don't know why I've always done this. I've always given animals nicknames that don't have any relation to their actual name, or don't really have any relation to anything at all. I do know the two dogs' names is Frank and Jesse. Um, but Jesse, he's the bigger. They're brothers, and one of them was the run of the litter, and the other one was the biggest of the litter. So Jesse, he's the big one, and he's got a big old head, so that's what I call him, big head. And the other one was the run of the litter, and he's got like a normal size head, so I call him Peanut Head. So it's Big Head and Peanut Head, and then the two cats are Bert and Monkey. But I don't know the two cats. I don't even know their real name. I don't think the two cats would even respond to I don't even think the two cats know their real name. They're so used to being called Bert and Monkey now. So, favorite band of all time would probably be Tool, or Dave Matthews Band. No, I live in Georgia on the border. I live in Augusta. North Augusta is across the river in South Carolina. So I live in Georgia. Well, I didn't start doing YouTube full time until it made sense to do it. Um, so everyone was always supportive. Yeah. Now they don't understand it completely, um, especially the older ones. But yeah, I do play Madden. Well, I don't. Maybe this is dumb. I don't know or care. I don't really play it that much, but I do the Ultimate Team, and I just like I just like building my team. I don't really play though. Like I don't play online competitive or anything like that. But um, like Madden 19, I made the best possible team I could make out of players that all went to the University of Georgia. And then I was actually talking about this the other day on one of the live streams. I think when Madden 20 comes out, what I'm gonna do for Madden 20 is I think I'm gonna expand that to all SEC players. So I'm gonna try to make the best possible Madden Ultimate team I can make using nothing but SEC players. But I mean, I'm make a hell of a team. Do I think they'll ever bring back NCAA football for video games? No, I don't. Did you watch Media Days? I watched some highlights and stuff of it. I mean, to me, Media Days really is for the media. It's not really for the team or the players. I mean, yeah, the coaches get to bring a couple of players and parade them around. As far as learning it, there was a guy in the comment section today that's trying to convince me that Michigan's going to have a terrible year because Jim Harbaugh had a terrible press conference at Big Ten Media Days. And I'm just, I mean, I read stuff like that, and it makes me want to just rip my eyeballs out and flush them down the toilet. That there's people that actually believe that. Like, listen, there's nothing more pointless on planet Earth than what a coach says at a press conference. They don't say, they're worse than politicians, coaches at these press conferences. I mean, you know, they don't say anything of meaning or value. They're not going to give you any inside information or tell you anything, but this guy's like, nope, you could just tell from Jim Harbaugh's demeanor, uh, Michigan's going to have a terrible year. And I'm like, listen, hey, Michigan might have a terrible year, or they might go 15-0. Either way, it's not going to be because he had because of anything he did at a press conference in July at Big Ten Media Days. I mean, it's just the retard level. Y'all remember that YouTube meme? The rent is too damn high. The retard level in the comment section that lately, especially over the last couple of days, is too damn high. I might have to make a video, not a responding to comments video because that will take too much time, but I might just have to make a video just addressing the tater level in the comments, just the pure potato level comments that I've been getting in the YouTube comment section over the last couple of weeks. I mean, it is mind numbing. I mean, I read some of these comments and the thought crosses my mind like, who velcros these people's shoes for them in the morning? Like, I don't understand. If breathing wasn't an automatic function of the nervous system, some of these people would keel over dead, period, because they just would forget to do it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I might have to make that video. An Uncle Lou rap part 2. That's a very requested video. Unfortunately, I probably have waited too long this off season to do it. That might be something I have to wait till next off season to do. I don't have a lot of time to do stuff like that during the season, sort of extra videos like that. So I'll have to add that to my notebook. I have a note. I write video ideas in, and I'll have to add that and try to make sure that gets put on the list to do next off season though. Favorite state to visit? That's hard to say. I go to the beach in Florida every year. It's nice. I have nothing against the state of Florida in general. I go to New York a lot because Mrs. Lou has some family there. So it would probably be one of those two states. That's where I tend to go the most. Thank you, Rashad. He said the 24-hour stream was great. I hope everyone enjoyed the 24-hour stream because it will be a long time if that ever happens again. I don't know. Who does UGA lose to this season? Nobody. Not in the regular season. 12-0. Run, tell it. Actually, don't tell anybody. Well, it doesn't matter. Tell them. Who cares? I'm making a video soon anyway. But yeah, 12-0. Good morning. Vodka Drinker, good morning, sir. Thank you for the super chat, the donation. Lou, the most pointless thing on earth is NFL players getting triggered because some programmer for EA assigned them poor attributes. Yeah, I saw those videos on YouTube where NFL players were complaining about their Madden rating. It is kind of funny. I may do another 24-hour stream again at some point down the road, but it will not be in the summertime. If I do it, it will be sometime in the beginning of the off season, February or March. I'm not sitting out there in that 150-degree heat for 24 hours straight again. That's just not happening. What are you doing for 20K special? Probably nothing. I'll just pretend the 24-hour stream was for 20,000 subs. I don't know. I mean, I'll if I can think of something, or if you guys have some suggestions or something like that. But we're gonna hit it pretty soon. I should have set the goal at 21,000 instead of 20 because I may be at 20 before July is even up. It's really started to take off the last couple of weeks. Now that it's getting closer to football season. And there's two reasons for that. One, the videos get more and more football centric, right? And more people start paying attention to college football related stuff this time of year than they do in, May and June. So the March to 20,000 or whatever we're calling it has been going pretty good the last week or so. I don't know what I'm at now. Somebody can check and let us know in the comment section, but it's probably 19,200 and something already. If UJ wins tonight, I do a 24-hour stream the day after. It's at 19,321. Wow. Yeah, so we'll be there soon. I mean, that means that's over 100 and something just since this morning. As it was, I think it was 240 this morning, so almost 100 just today. So yeah, we'll hit that soon. No, don't unsubscribe. No, stop it. Small Nappy, I can't believe you said that, especially after I gave you a shout out in that Oregon video. I mean, I know you're not an Oregon fan, but I was just talking about the Pac-12 fans. I gave you a shout out. Now you tell people to unsubscribe, man. Are you going to a UGA game? If I can find somebody that needs a kidney and has a lot of money that they're willing to spend, that I can sell them my kidney, I'll go to the Notre Dame game. Short of that, I'm going to see if I can go to the Texas A&M. I'm going to see about maybe going to the Texas A&M game, taking Lou Jr. to the Texas A&M game in November. Which rivalry do you like the best? If you're talking about Georgia rivalry or just in general, the Georgia-Florida game, especially lately, is really good. Georgia won 3 in a row, then Florida won 3 in a row. Now we've won 2 in a row. Rivalries are better when that's happening, right? Versus what Florida did to us from 1990 to 2010, basically. That 20-year period, they pretty much dominated us. So that rivalry has gotten better over the last 10 years or so. Outside of that, I like the Ohio State-Michigan game. I'm glad they brought back Michigan and Notre Dame. I think that's a good rivalry game every year. I like Texas. I mean, the big ones, Texas. I like Texas OU. Clemson, South Carolina. It's lost a little bit of the shine lately because Clemson is just so good. But there's been lots of times where that's been a good rivalry. Of course, the Iron Bowl. I mean, I'm just naming the obvious ones, I guess. If the Big 12 played defense, they would have at least one national title since the playoffs started. Instead, they have 0. USC versus Notre Dame was great when Pete Carroll was at USC. I mean, because Notre Dame had some pretty good teams. That now, obviously, Southern Cal was better, but Notre Dame was competitive then, against USC. Now it's sort of flip-flop. Notre Dame is okay, and Southern Cal's not any good. But yeah, that's a pretty good one too. If I had to make a playoff prediction right now, it would be Clemson, Michigan, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Not in that order. I'm just naming teams. I didn't mean that to be 1 through 4 or anything like that. But those are the 4 teams. If I had to pick right now, that's who I would pick. Which game will have the best ratings? Well, last year it was Georgia versus Alabama. That was the most highly watched regular season game in like 7 years. It was a conference title game, but conference title game or regular season game, that was the most watched in like 7 years. And if they meet again this year, I have a feeling it'll be up there again, because that's been such a good game the last 2 years. Yeah, we know Bo Nix for Heisman, unless for some reason Joey Gatewood starts, then it's Joey Gatewood for Heisman. Um, we're well aware. Who wins tonight? It depends who's playing. I saw somebody just asked about a super chat. I'm on my phone. It doesn't show them to me like it does on the computer. So I'm scrolling back up to see if I see it. Uh, okay, I see it. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, the donation, SSL. Waiting for UGA vid. Ever consider South Alabama vid? The UGA video will be coming for sure. I'm not exactly sure when yet. As far as the second part of your question, did I ever consider a South Alabama vid? No. Doesn't mean I wouldn't do it, but that would probably have to be, if I did a team like South Alabama, it would either A, have to be somebody from the Patreon page wanted me to do it, or number 2, it would be at the very end of these prediction videos when I've done all the other major teams. I wouldn't choose to do a South Alabama prediction and preview video if, for example, I still hadn't done somebody like South Carolina or Wisconsin or Nebraska. You get what I'm saying. And last year I did have some time to do some of those. I did like Jacksonville State. I did Georgia State. I did the other ones I did. I do App State. I did Army and Navy last year. So I did some teams, and if we have time when it gets closer to the end and I've done all the bigger programs, then I'll do some teams like that. I don't understand. People are infatuated with this question. I get asked this question all the time. Ty Goodrow. Good morning, sir. Favorite SEC team if UGA didn't exist? I find that question impossible to answer. Um, if you're a Christian and there was no such thing as Christianity, would you be a Muslim or a Hindu? It's impossible to say. Uh, I really don't know. I'm not trying to dodge the question because I get asked that a lot. Um, and I pretty much have to give the same answer. Maybe I would be a Georgia Tech fan, but my only reason for saying that is because then if there was no Georgia, I guess I would go for the other team that's also in the state of Georgia, but I really don't know. What week does Gus Malzahn lose his job? See, 2 of his losses are coming within the last 3 weeks of the season when he plays Georgia and Alabama. So it could be that they keep him for those games. What would be the point, really, of firing Gus Malzahn, let's say in week 9, right? Just to promote some poor schlub to interim head coach so that he can then go and get his brains kicked in by Georgia and Alabama. Wouldn't make a lot of sense. Might as well let Gus just take his medicine those last couple of weeks. Now, what would make me happy is if he got fired after the Georgia game. Nothing would make me happier than for Georgia to roll into Auburn, win that game by 30 points, and Malzahn be fired the next day. And here's why that would make me happy. Because they cried and bitched and moaned about moving that Georgia game because it's not fair that they have to play Georgia and Alabama in a 3-week period at the end of the year. And of course, they got their way. It would be so funny, and that change they got their way. That change happens next year, so it would be ironic and hilarious to me if the last time that Georgia and Auburn are playing at the end of the season like that, Georgia goes in there and beats the bejesus out of them, and it costs Gus Malzahn his job. That would be absolutely hilarious to me. But stuff that is that funny usually ends up not happening. Like last year, if Mississippi State would have beat Florida last year, that would have been the funniest loss of the season. And so, of course, it didn't happen. And so Gus Malzahn probably won't get fired after the Georgia game, but that would be the most funny scenario in my mind. Oh, I've been to the dog walk dozens of times. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't go all the time anymore unless I'm with somebody who's never been. Like when I went to the Auburn game last year, I took my brother and his son. I mean, I took my son and my dad, but they had been to the dog walk before. My brother and his son had never been to the dog walk, so we went. We went to it. I think everybody should see that at least once, especially if you're a Georgia fan. I don't watch much NBA except for when it gets to the playoffs, and even then, I don't watch every game. If there's a series that I think will be interesting, or a series gets to game 6 or 7 or something like that, I may watch it, but I don't follow the NBA all that closely. Yeah, and just again, because there are a lot of people in here, I'm doing this on my phone. Normally, I live stream from my grandmother's basement or whatever that is, where I normally do these things on a computer, and I'm able to see the comments a lot better. I'm doing this on my phone, so if you're commenting or asking something, I'm not ignoring you. I promise. I'm doing my best to read as many of these comments as I can, but they just go by. They go by really fast on the phone, so don't think I'm ignoring you or anything. If I don't read your comment, I'm doing the best I can to read them. Auburn 15-0. No, no, no. Best coach in college football besides Dabo and Swinney. Uh, that's tough. Um, I mean, I think those are clearly the top two. I think after that it becomes pretty debatable. I think Lincoln Riley's a really good coach. I think Kirby Smart's a really good coach. I think Jimbo Fisher's a really good coach. Um, um, I mean, after that, I just start naming people sort of that I like. I like David Shaw. I like Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. I like James Franklin at Penn State. I like PJ Fleck at Minnesota. I mean, you have a lot of coaches that are stuck at schools that are never going to win anything meaningful, but I think they're really good coaches. Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Um, I think 1 and 2 are really easy. I think after that, it gets a lot more difficult. No, I don't care anything about NASCAR. What is a team you wish Georgia would schedule? Um, Ohio State, which I mean, we did schedule them, and Ohio State backed out. We had a home and home at Ohio State. They backed out. I've been wanting us to schedule Florida State for a long time, and we finally did schedule them, but we don't play them till like 2032 or something. But they're on the schedule. Um, who would I like to play? We've got Texas coming up on the schedule. Um, maybe Penn State maybe would be a good one. When I think about teams that I would want Georgia to schedule, I think about it in a selfish way. Like I would love to go to a game at night at Penn State. Now Georgia could schedule Penn State. I'm not saying I would go. I might not be able to go. I might not could afford it or whatever. I got young kids and a family. I can't just up and go. But that's how I tend to think about it when I'm like, man, I wish Georgia would schedule Michigan, like because I would love to go to a game at Michigan. Now it may end up I couldn't go, but those are the types of games I like to see get scheduled. Like we scheduled a home and home a few years ago and played Arizona State. That didn't do anything for me. Oklahoma State, we played a home and home with them. That didn't do much for me. But we've got some good ones on the schedule now. We've got 5 games scheduled with Clemson in the next like 14 years. Uh, 2 home and homes and a kickoff classic. We've got a home and home schedule with Texas. We're wrapping up a home and home with Notre Dame this year. I think UCLA, home and home with UCLA coming up. So we got some good ones coming up. Home and home with North Carolina and Georgia. Well, we played North Carolina to kick the season off back in 2016. So we've at least played them recently, but it was a neutral site game, a kickoff with the Chick-fil-A Classic, wasn't it? Yeah, Kirby's first game. Uncle Lou, why are you wearing sunglasses at night? The same reason I always wear them. Have I ever? I've told the story of why I wear sunglasses on video. It's not an interesting, you know. I get hate comments for it all the time. I mean, there is a reason why I wear sunglasses on video. Does anyone know? Has anyone ever heard me say before? And on live videos, it's even more important to wear the sunglasses. But even on regular videos, lazy eye? No. No. Like, I'll take them off right now and I'll show you. While I'm doing this live video, I'm doing this on a phone, okay? The camera is right here, okay? The camera is not in the middle of the phone, but I'm looking in the middle of the phone and I'm reading comments. And maybe it's just a self-conscious thing, but like my eyes jump up and down because I'm trying to follow along with these comments, and then the camera really is over there. Right on this, you know where a camera is on a phone. It's at the end of the phone. I have it because I film in landscape mode, so I turn the phone sideways. So the camera is over there, but the center of the screen is, see, like I'm touching the center of the screen right now, but it looks like I'm touching way over there. And then the comments are on the left-hand side of the screen. So if I take the glasses off and I try to read the comments, it looks like I'm looking. It looks like I'm looking over, over there. Anyway, that's why I do it. And the same thing in the garage. I have a DSLR camera, a Canon T7i, and it's got a flip out screen on it. Okay, so like, let's say this is the camera, okay, and the lens is right in the middle, okay, but the screen, the flip out screen flips out like this so that I can see what's being recorded. So if I don't wear the glasses, it looks like I'm not looking at you when I do the videos. It looks like I'm constantly looking off to the side. That's why you'll notice, if you look in the comment section of a lot of people's YouTube videos who don't wear sunglasses, they oftentimes get accused of having a lazy eye because it looks like you're looking off to the side. Because the camera, you're never looking directly at the camera when you film a YouTube video if you have a screen to look at, which most people do. So anyway, that's a long, drawn-out explanation, but that's how it got started, and also. My first car was a 1980 full-size Ford Bronco. I loved that car. I would love to have another one day. They're coming out with the Ford Broncos, the new ones, but I don't like them. If I ever got another Ford Bronco, I would want an old one like I had before. Maybe I'll get one day. I don't really have a dream car because, like I said earlier, I'm not really a car guy. I mean, I've wanted a Mustang since I was 8 or 9 years old because my dad had one when I was a kid, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I finally got that. It took me, what am I, 41? And so, but I never, I mean, McLarens are nice, Lamborghinis, Ferraris. My brother-in-law has a Ferrari. I've driven it. It is an experience unlike anything. I don't know if you guys have ever driven one or even been in one. It's I mean, I can see where I'm not a car guy, but having driven my brother-in-law's Ferrari, he has an F430 Spider convertible. And having driven that, I can see where people get hooked and obsessed with that kind of thing. Hold on, one of these dogs is barking and carrying on. What are you barking and carrying on about, Frank? Come on. What's wrong with you damn dogs? I don't get it. Anyway, my favorite restaurant is T-Bones. Well, T-Bones and Reinhardt's. It's not that I don't like big chain restaurants. I do, and I go to big chain restaurants a lot. But in terms of favorites, I like, and I do this when I go out of town too. I like to find local stuff, and T-Bones is local to here. Reinhardt's is local to here. A place called French Market Grill that has good New Orleans food, like you like shrimp po' boys and stuff like that. They're so good there. So those tend to be my favorite places. Outcast, the group from Atlanta, I love Outcast. Yeah. I'm not much of a golf fan. I'm like most everybody else that is from Augusta and lives here. I pretend to be a golf fan every April. You know, I get into it. I watch the Masters on TV. I go out to eat, and all these tourists are in town, and I talk like about golf like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. If Georgia played at Iowa State, what do you think the outcome would be? Georgia would lose. You can't win there. No one has ever won it. You better off playing them on the moon or the Walmart parking lot. You can't win at Iowa State. Tiger Woods is the extent of your golf knowledge. Now I will say, back in the late '90s through most of the 2000s, when Tiger Woods was dominating golf, uh, it was hard not to get into golf then. I mean, what he was doing was unbelievable. Um, there was a 3 or 4 year period. I guess you may not appreciate this unless you know at least a little bit about golf and how hard it is to actually win a golf tournament. But there was a 3 or 4 year period where Tiger Woods won over 50% of the tournaments he entered. I mean, that's just. I mean, do you have any idea how hard that is to do? I mean, that's just unbelievable. I mean, these golf tournaments have 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 sometimes people enter them. And to win 50% of the tournaments you enter is unheard of. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Um, I do think that Jack Nicklaus is the greatest golfer of all time. And I think that's Tiger Woods' fault. I think had Tiger Woods not fell off the cliff like he did, I think he could have passed Tiger Woods or Jack Nicholson in a lot of those categories, major wins and things like that. I'll say this, though. During that 10 or 12 year period where Tiger was at his best, no one has ever been better than that. But he completely, he had some demons and some issues that he battled and stuff like that, and that cost him. Whereas Jack Nicklaus did what he did for a longer period of time, uninterrupted. He didn't have any issues like that where he had to sit out for a long time and all that. But you have to factor all that stuff in. So because of that, I still say Jack Nicklaus is the greatest golfer of all time. But no one's ever been as good as Tiger was during that 10-year period or whatever it was. During that 10-year period when Tiger was in his prime, he was better than Jack Nicklaus ever was, period. But like I said, you all know his story and what happened and all that. But anyway. How long will Oregon last? What did that say? Oh, how long will Orgeron last at LSU? I think he bought some time last year. If you guys remember, I talked about this in the LSU preview. It's hard to remember this now, but heading into last season, Orgeron was on the hot seat. Um, LSU did not have a good year in 2017. They had lost that home game to Troy, Expectations were not high for LSU last year at all. In fact, a lot of people had them going 5-7 or 6-6, and there was some speculation that if that happened, they may cut ties with Ed Orgeron. But they had a pretty good season last year, winning 10 games for the first time since like 2013. And I think LSU is going to be better this year than they were last year. I don't think it'll be good enough to win the SEC West. I think Alabama will still win it, but I think LSU is going to win 10 games again. Maybe it's 10-2, and then they win an 11 with a bowl game. Maybe they go 9-3, and their 10th win is the bowl game. But I think they're going to get to 10 wins overall again this year. How old are your kids? My daughter is 12. She just turned 12 in June. And Lou Jr. is 10. He turned 10 in January. So he'll be in 5th grade next year. Lou Jr. will. And my daughter, Luann, she will be in 7th grade next year. Do you think A&M and Texas will ever play again? It's getting less likely the more and more time that goes by. I miss that game. That game used to be played every Thanksgiving weekend. That was one of those games, even when I was a kid, you didn't even have to look up a schedule. There was a list of games you knew were being played on Thanksgiving weekend every year. And that was one of them, Texas and Texas A&M. I wish it would come back. It might be the type of thing where, South Carolina state legislature passed a law. South Carolina and Clemson have to play every year or they lose state funding. It may come to that in Texas. They may have to pass a law and force them to play for it to happen. Now, maybe when the playoffs expand in 2025 and teams are more open to scheduling some bigger games, maybe we see something like that then. But I don't think it would be before that. It's not looking good for that rivalry. I don't watch boxing unless the match is so huge that it makes mainstream news. I watched Mayweather Pacquiao. I watched those. But as far as following boxing like year round just to follow it, no, it has to be one of these big super fights that everybody's talking about, and then I'll watch it. I'm kind of the same way with UFC. I did used to be more into UFC, where I would watch all the pay-per-views and the free fights on the weekends, and like once a month they'd have the fight on Fox or whatever, and I was really into UFC for a couple of years, but not so much anymore. Now with UFC, it's pretty much the same thing as boxing. It's got to be one of the super fights before I get interested in it. Favorite Tool song changes all the time depending on my mood and things like that. It's impossible for me to name, but some of the ones that immediately always come to my mind when somebody asks me that, Vicarious, Eulogy, I like The Pot, I like The Grudge, I like Stink Fist. They have a new album coming out here in a few weeks, and there's 2 new songs out from the album, so since that's new, I've been listening to a lot of those 2 songs lately, but I wouldn't necessarily consider those to be my favorite. I guess it's just I'm listening to it a lot because it's new Tool music, and we haven't had any new Tool music in 13 years. So, am I going to stream during the Florida-Miami game? Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, too. Of course, I stream the Georgia game every week, but I only do that on the Patreon page. I'm going to stream the Miami-Florida game, but I'm going to do that just on YouTube, on the regular channel for, we can all watch the game together or whatever. Now, when I say I'm going to stream the game, I can't show the game. So if there's a reason why you don't have cable or one of these types of things and you're thinking you can tune into the Uncle Lou show to actually watch the game, no, that's not what I do when I stream games. YouTube will shut your channel down. You get in a lot of trouble for showing copyrighted games like that. So I have the game on in the background, and I'm watching the game, but really I'm doing what I'm doing right now, but the game is on. So instead of talking about whatever it is we're talking about now, we talk about the game. And so yeah, but I am going to do that for the Florida Miami game, and then the Georgia games when I stream those. Um, well, if you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. But that's watching me watch a Georgia game is interesting. If I had to pick right now, I would go with Florida. I mean, I know they haven't had the best off season. Some players leaving, different things going on, um, but it's just Miami didn't have a great year last year. I think they're a better team than what their record indicated. But Manny Diaz has never been a head coach before. Dan Mullen's been a head coach in major college football, the SEC, for 10 years. I mean, I think that matters. I think head coaching experience matters. There are some exceptions. Lincoln Riley's made the playoffs his first 2 years as a head coach. I get that, but um, it would just be hard for me to go with Miami. Now, that does not mean Miami can't win the game. I think this has the potential to be a great game. And Miami's defense is not a joke. It wasn't a joke last year. I mean, they had a down year last year. Their defense was not the issue. And their defensive coordinator was Manny Diaz. He's gone as DC, but he's still there as head coach. So you have a lot of continuity there on defense. All the question marks are on offense. I like who they brought in as an offensive coordinator. Their quarterback situation is frustrating, or at least it's got to be for Miami fans, because you bring Tate Martell in, N'Kosi Perry, and I know there's some Miami fans in here. I've heard a lot of the reasons or excuses about why N'Kosi Perry did this or that, whatever, last year. But the bottom line is this: N'Kosi Perry was not a good quarterback last year, and he really wasn't even close to being a good quarterback. I think he completed under 50% of his passes. I've heard it all. I know it was Mark Richt's fault. It was the offensive coordinator's fault. The receivers dropped passes. I get all that, and I'm not saying he can't be better this year, but even Miami fans, I know because I heard them. They wanted Tate Martell to be the guy. Why? Because they didn't have that much faith in N'Kosi Perry. Now it's looking like Tate Martell's not going to get the starting job. It's looking like N'Kosi Perry's going to get the starting job, and a lot of Miami fans are sort of backtracking. Oh, let's find N'Kosi Perry. You know, he only had a 50 or 48% completion percentage because of Mark Richt and some drop passes. And well, it's no big deal. We got a better system now. But those same fans were wanting Tate Martell to start, and I don't know what's going on. I've heard Tate Martell's got some attitude issues. I've heard he doesn't want to work for it. But whatever the case, for whatever reason, he can't beat out N'Kosi Perry for the starting job. So, Miami's talented, especially skill positions. I've got serious questions about their quarterback play. Manny Diaz, first-year head coach. Miami could win that game, but if I had to pick right now, I would probably go with Florida for those reasons. It's not a hating on Miami thing. For God's sakes, I'm a Georgia fan. I can't stand Florida. Why would I want them to? Why would I? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. This guy just hates Miami. That's why he picked Florida. this Georgia fan. Why would a Georgia fan hate Miami? We've got no reason to. Come on. Miami could win, but there's a reason they're over a touchdown, 7.5-point underdog, whatever it is. Most people expect Florida to win that game. But listen, I'm just glad we have a great game in this quote-unquote week 0 thing. This week 0 they did last year, you guys remember I came on and I said they just need to shut this week 0 down if this is all they're going to do. It was 4 games that absolutely nobody cared about. The best team playing in week 0 last year was something called Colorado. It was just a pitiful slate of 3 or 4 games for that week 0 thing. Horrible games. So at least this year they sort of got it right by... it's okay to have some below average games, but don't do the week 0 if that's all you're going to have. If you can't get one of the big week 1 games to back up the week 0, then don't do a week 0. So I think they got it right this year back in that Miami-Florida game up to week 0. And listen, everybody is going to be watching that game. Every single college football fan in America is going to be watching that game because it's the first weekend of college football and there's no other games on. It's not like a typical Saturday where there's a game on every channel and you're choosing your favorite team or favorite conference or whatever. This will be the only game in town. This will be the only game on that day. So it will be a ton of people watching it. Do I like football? At least you didn't ask me if I've ever seen a game. Do you go to non-conference games? Do you mean non-Georgia games or Georgia non-conference games? Because I've been to several Georgia non-conference games. I've only been to a non-Georgia game one time, if that's what you mean, like a game not involving Georgia. Yeah, I like Kirk Herbstreit. I think he's smart, knows what he's talking about. Let me let these dogs in. They have to get on my last nerve. Y'all need to go inside with that. Go inside. I'm a grown ass man out there messing with y'all. Jesus. Fight Skip Bayless for his job. I'm going to be honest with you. I appreciate. I take that as a compliment when people say things like that. I'm not saying I would turn it down if ESPN or something called me and offered me a job, but I don't want to be constrained. I like to be able to do what I want to do and say what I want to say, and not have to answer to anybody for it. I mean, yeah, I understand with the trash talk that's going to irritate some of the viewers sometimes and stuff like that, but I don't want to be boxed in any kind of way, and I don't. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you that ESPN is going away or anything. But who do you think? What do you think is going to grow at a faster rate over the next 10 years? ESPN's audience or YouTube's audience? I'm not talking about me in particular. I mean YouTube in general. Somebody asked me a few minutes ago how old my kids are, 10 and 12. They've never watched a TV show. Never. A handful of times. They everything they do is on demand. YouTube, Netflix, all that. They'll never have a cable bill. Either one of my kids will never have a cable bill. But YouTube's getting bigger and bigger every day. So, and I'm not here to try to tell you I'm too good for ESPN. That's not what I'm saying. And if ESPN called me, I'll probably take the job. But I'm just saying, I like the idea. I mean, you go on YouTube. Listen, it's hard work. It's not what people think. And I used to think the same thing. You know, that, oh, man, these people have it so easy, YouTube. Now, I'm appreciative. Like, you know, I love what I do here. And I'm not trying to compare myself to anyone else. As far, you know, I'm not out here doing manual labor or whatever. And I'm not trying to act like I am. But it's like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, having your own YouTube channel, if you want to make it something serious, you have to treat it like something serious. And it's like running any other business. This one just so happens to be a video business on YouTube. But it's no different than if you ran a t-shirt store or you cut lawns for a living or whatever. You have to work at it. Nothing is going to be handed to you. The competition on YouTube is fierce. You know, and yes, some people get lucky with these vlogs and stuff like that, and they can fart in a cup, 5 million people will watch it. Great. That's not most people, though. Most people who make it on YouTube, most people who are successful on YouTube are successful because they grind it out, they take it serious, they put a lot of time, effort, work, and energy in, and in that way, it's like any other job. You know, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. I put on a pot of coffee. As soon as the first cup is ready, I pour it and I head out to the garage and I start working. I mean, you're going to get, it's like anything else. You're going to get out what you put into it. Best non-conference game you're looking forward to? Oh, there's a lot of them this year. Texas LSU, Miami, Florida, Notre Dame, Michigan, Notre Dame, Georgia. I think Florida State and Boise State has potential to be a really good game. I picked Florida State to win, but I don't think anybody would be that blown away if Boise State won. I think Central Florida plays Stanford this year. Is that right? That'll be a good one, won't it? That'll be a good game. You think UGA can make the Sweet 16 in basketball? Probably not this year. I expect UGA to make the NCAA tournament this year. I mean, I expect UGA to make the NCAA tournament every year in general because 68 teams make it. I gave them a pass last year because we had a brand new head coach, and we had a good team the year before that, player wise, with a coach that didn't know what he was doing, Mark Fox. But we had a team good enough 2 years ago to make the NCAA tournament, and they all left. And so we were left with a team last year that honestly didn't have that much talent and a first year head coach. So I didn't have expectations, and I sort of let it slide last year. But I expect us to make the NCAA tournament this year. Do you think App State could upset South Carolina? No, I don't. App State hasn't beat a Power 5 team in 13 years. Does Lou Jr. watch Stranger Things? He watched all of season 3 with us, and I couldn't believe it because I'm not going to lie. And don't y'all rag on him. I know a lot of y'all. He has his own YouTube channel, and some of y'all go over there sometimes, which I really appreciate, by the way. When he does a video or something and people are actually watching it, it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to him. So big shout out to you guys that do that. But he doesn't do good with scary stuff for whatever reason. Now with his sister, it's the opposite. Nothing scares her. But Lou Jr. doesn't typically do scary stuff. But he sat in the living room with me and Mrs. Lou and watched. It was 4th of July weekend, I think it was. Yeah, we binge watched the entire thing 4th of July weekend, and he watched every episode with us. Lou Jr.'s YouTube is Lou Jr., but just JR. So, like LOU space JR, Lou Jr. Gamer, GAMER. Unless he's changed it recently and not told me. He sometimes changes his YouTube channel name and doesn't tell me. But so unless he's changed it, that's what it is. Now, he hasn't done a video in a while because he's been out of the country. He's been in Germany for 2 weeks. He doesn't come back for another 8 or 9 days or something. But yeah, it's Lou Jr. Lou Jr. Gamer. LOU space JR space Gamer, GAMER. I think most of his videos are video games. Favorite non-Georgia college football player ever? I don't know about ever, but I'll name a bunch of them that I really loved watching play. Adrian Peterson, Darren McFadden. Right now, my favorite players to watch right now, Jerry Jeudy, Jonathan Taylor. I liked Bryce Love and Saquon Barkley. They're of course in the NFL now, but I liked them a lot. I liked watching Deshaun Watson. That's a list off the top of my head. Oh, defensive players last year. Who was that guy? Ed Oliver. Man, I could have watched Ed Oliver. I could watch Ed Oliver play football all day long. He was so good. I hope he makes it in the NFL because he was so good in college. I liked him last year. I had to throw him in there. I talked about him a lot last year. He played for Houston. I will. Celine Driver, I'll get him to do it. Try to remind me. Like I said, he's out of the country, won't be back for like 9 or 10 days, and I'll probably forget. But remind me in a couple of weeks, I'll get him to sub you up. All y'all go sub Celine Driver's channel. Just click his name right there in the comment section. It'll take you to his channel. Y'all sub him up. What do you think the chances FSU fires Taggart and hires Lane Kiffin? They should have done that already. They should have hired Lane Kiffin to start with. I did not like the Willie Taggart hire when they did it. It looks even worse after last year. Listen, I don't know how quick they're going to be to pull the trigger on firing Willie Taggart. If they don't make a bowl game this year, though, you got to get rid of that guy. Florida State should never be in a situation where they're staring down the barrel of a 2 or 3 year rebuild or something like that. Not with the way they recruit, not being in the state of Florida, not with the state their program has been in the last 20 years. That's unacceptable. If he goes 2 years in a row without making a bowl game, you've got to get rid of him. I don't care what the buyout is. I don't care what the cost is. You have to get rid of him. And to me, that's sort of an easy answer. And then if he wins 10 games, then you say, okay, well, we keep him. To me, the hard part is going to be, what if they go 7-5, right? What if they go 7-5 and lose their bowl game? Then what do you do? The ACC is terrible outside of Clemson. You got Florida. You're looking at Florida State go 7-5 against teams like Virginia and whoever. We already went through their schedule. That's where Florida State would have a difficult decision. I think. If that happens, 7-5, you say, well, 5 wins, now 7 wins. He's getting better. But then on the other hand, you're Florida State. You're celebrating a 7-5 season now. I don't know. I don't get it. Florida State should be winning 9 or 10 games in their sleep. I cannot. The Lane Kiffin thing. I cannot believe a major football program has not hired Lane Kiffin. I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe it. I know it went bad for him at Tennessee and Southern Cal, but the guy is an elite offensive mind, and I know he's got some personality quirks or whatever the case. But listen, these college teams, the main thing they want to do is win, and I just find it hard to believe that somebody hasn't rolled the dice yet on Lane Kiffin. He doesn't want to leave. Stop it. Stop. That's code for I haven't received any job offers. If Auburn or LSU or Florida State called Lane Kiffin, you think he's going to tell them, no, I want to stay at FAU? Stop it. Stop it. I watch El Presador sometimes. I mean, I know who he is, so I watch him every once in a while. Um, but see, like, here's my thing with El Presador and channels like El Presador. Um, I'm not going to watch all of his videos. So because of that, when I do watch one, I don't know what the hell's going on, because a lot of the videos he makes are directed towards certain people. I don't know if they're people in his comment section or other video makers, or he makes a lot of references to things he talked about in something 2 videos ago, and I didn't watch that video, so I don't. It makes it hard for me to follow along, but yeah, I do watch El Presador sometimes. Gunga Ginga, Gunga Ginga. That's him, right? The Gunga Ginga guy. Gunga Ginga. Oh, thanks, George. Yeah, he's one of those people that talks about dancing and, you know, you're a puppet and all this kind of. There's like a whole subculture on YouTube devoted to all that. Who's the next player to leave Florida? I don't know. I don't know. Wings of Redemption. Ban the word wings. Ban the word the. Ban the word ban too. No, I'm not selling my Mustang. No, no, I'm not going back to Mexico for another weight loss surgery. Ban the word surgery. Shout out Sean Ranklin. People who don't know what we're talking about, I gotta be watching and going, what in the hell are they talking about? No, I'm not gonna supercharge the V6 Mustang. Or are you actually asking me about my Mustang? No, I'm not gonna supercharge it. I would never supercharge my Mustang, and well, I won't say never, but no, I'm not gonna supercharge it. Do a 48-hour stream? No, no, no. Zero chance. Well, let me know when you're in Augusta, Jaden Thompson. We'll go get some lunch or something. Thoughts on expanding the playoffs? My thoughts are that it's happening in 2025. I'm not for it. I like it at 4, but it's happening in 2025. That's my thoughts. Too much money involved. And then when it expands to 8 teams, guess what we get to hear every offseason? Not fair to the 9th place team, Lou. Not fair, Lou. The 9th place team was clearly better than the 8th place team, Lou. The 9th place team got screwed, Lou. I can't wait. I didn't sleep that long. It's weird. I'm old, so I don't stay up like that. I have young kids. They're out of town. I've mentioned that a couple of times. That's the only reason I even attempted the 24-hour stream. But I was really tired at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I started at like 7 in the morning on Saturday and went till 7 in the morning on Sunday. When it got to 1, 2 in the morning or whatever, I was really tired. But about 5:30 or 6 or so, when the sun started to come up, it woke me up a little. But so the stream ended around 7 or 7:15 or whatever it was. I came inside, ate some breakfast, watched some news or Sports Center or something for about 30 minutes, and then it was probably about 8 or 8:30 when I went and laid down, and I only slept about 4 hours. But I did that on purpose. I set my alarm because I was afraid if I slept half the day, then I'd be up all night again. So I purposely only slept for like 3 or 4 hours so that I could go to sleep at a normal time the next night. Penn State versus Ohio State. I haven't decided on that game yet. I'll have to figure it out soon, though, because I'm sure I'll be doing a Penn State and an Ohio State prediction video coming up pretty soon. And whichever one I do first, I'll have to decide on a winner for that game. But I haven't put a whole lot of thought into that game yet. I mean, I give you some thoughts on it. I think that game, like a lot of Ohio State's games, is going to depend on how good Justin Fields is. Ohio State is just a big unknown to me because of the Justin Fields situation at quarterback. I think Justin Fields is a phenomenal talent and can be a great college football quarterback, but we just haven't seen it. Yeah, so it's just hard to get too overconfident about Ohio State right now because of the big question mark at quarterback. Now, if Justin Fields comes out and lights it up, Ohio State could easily run away with that division again. If not, then I could see Ohio State losing 3 games, maybe. I think they're too talented to lose more than that, even if Justin Fields ends up being not that good. Can't see him really losing in more than 3. But it's a wait and see thing with them. We got to see what Justin Fields looks like, right? What's your view on tattoos? My personal view on tattoos, I would never get a tattoo that couldn't be covered up by a short sleeve shirt. That's just my own personal philosophy and opinion. If I see someone with a tattoo all the way down their arm or on their neck or something, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. But me personally, I would never get one that a short sleeve shirt couldn't cover up. So I have 3 tattoos. They're all covered up by a short sleeve shirt, but that's just a personal preference of mine. I don't have a problem with someone else choosing to get a tattoo wherever they see fit. Yeah, I have 3 tattoos. I have one on each upper arm here, and then I have one on my back, on my shoulder blade. But I got them all 20 years ago. Do you respond to Patreon members on Snapchat? Yes. I won't say I respond right away every single time, but I try. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end it. I'm sitting on the back porch today, which is great, but the mosquitoes are starting to get to me. And I don't know how long this has been, but it's got to be close to an hour and a half or so. So I'm going to end it. But hey, this was sort of out of the blue. I don't normally do a stream on Saturdays where I just sit. Well, I normally don't do these streams at all anymore, really. This was nice to just sit and talk with you guys in the comment section and not have to worry with the phones and all that. But I'll be back with the regular live shows Tuesday night. We do it every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. This was good to do one on a Saturday. I know a lot of people can't join during the week because of work or school or some combination of the two or family responsibilities or whatever. So this was good to do one on a Saturday. I saw a lot of names in the comment section that I don't normally get to see on the Tuesday and Thursday show, so that was good. And don't forget, football season starts soon, and I do a lot more shows at different times and live streams and stuff at different times once the season starts, so make it a lot better. Give more of you guys an opportunity to join along. But anyway, I had a good time. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more prediction videos. Have a great morning. Yeah, a great morning.